today's mission is we need to fix my hair. Get the factory skid plates taken off of the Can-Am because plasma table arrives in 2 weeks, give or take a little bit, and I want to make sure by the time it gets here, that this thing is all ready to go for getting gussets. So I want to get the skid plates off, riv nuts installed, that way the skid plates can be, bolted and unbolted. It'll make accessing, the whole chassis a lot easier for welding in a bunch of gussets. So we have a small pile of, these are essentially countersunk washers and M6 bolts. And then I wasn't sure exactly how many I would need, so I just bought 80 of them. And then here is a whole pile of M6 riv nuts. So we will get these installed, but first things first is we have to drill out all 7 billion of those stupid rivets that hold the skid plate on. So not sure exactly what size drill bit we're gonna need just yet, but I got a hunch we're gonna find out. So let's get this party going. Had to drill out some old rivets before, so when I was putting in that front gusset kit, I got an idea of, here's an old one, what is that, 7/32 drill bit. So for the next guy who's watching this and wanting to do it, that's what size. Alright, here we go. Okay. Alright, one down. Let's see how many of these just start to spin. Spoke too soon. This is gonna spin. Yep. Okay, so that might work. All right. Well, I don't know exactly how many there are under here, but we drilled out 3. So, it's good. It's good. It's a good start. Not really, but that's how it's going. So. Oh boy. Alright. So I'm going to try to wedge a flathead screwdriver underneath the rivet. Right? Try to wedge that under it just to try to keep it from spinning. So let's see what happens. Well, I mean, I'm kind of gonna count that as a win, I guess. A little bit. But yeah. There. One down. Okay. I should just lift the front end of this thing up with the excavator. If it wasn't 20-something degrees outside, I would definitely be using the excavator instead. But while we've been away, we're slowly making progress. My little collection. Basically just wedging the screwdriver under the head of the rivet, kind of prying on it to keep it from spinning, and then start drilling. Most of the time the screwdriver slips out, 12 times before we actually get through.
Now let's figure out how to get this thing down. Okay, we're loose all. Oh yeah, making progress. Oh yeah, make sure you take everything out from under the seats, you know, before you start this stuff. There we go. It's good. Woo! Oh man, so much room for activities. Oh boy. Okay. There we go. Oh man. Success. All right. So I thought I was going to find a ton of cracking down here. And to my surprise, there's actually not as much as I thought there would be, which is good. So what you need to do now is you're going to need to go through and inspect all these joints, right? Everywhere, you know, that the metal is welded together. Every single seam, right? Go through and inspect all of them. And you're looking for basically just cracks in the paint, right? Kind of like that, but that's, you know, I don't know if you can see it or not, but up there on the top, can't get the camera up there, but up there right above my finger, can't see it on camera, but that's one crack, right? It's really common around where the trailing arms bolt up, and all the way back here at the very back at these points, and right up there. It's also common. You know, so go through and you got to inspect all of that, right? You need to make sure that you find all of them and stuff, because we're going to go through and basically drill out the ends of the cracks and then weld them all up, and then we're going to, you know, weld a gusset plate in right there. That's not all going to happen today, but that's the plan. So let's see what's next. Well, I realize I'm a little late to the party on starting a video for this one. Probably should strip this thing down entirely, like to a bare frame, to do this. But we're gonna try to see if we can put in 50%, 80% of the work and get pretty close to as, you know, good as we can. We'll see. So this whole project so far has been drilling out a crap ton of rivets. So you have to drill out all the ones on the skid plate. There's a few that you have to drill out in order to get this lower valance off, like the rocker panel essentially. If I remember right, for, you know, the back like fender, I think there was one rivet I had to drill out. After that, you can basically get that rear fender off. You know, the door obviously is super easy, right? And then you can get this lower rocker panel off. There were a few rivets underneath for the rocker panel, otherwise it just screwed, you know what, screwed to like this front, I don't know what you'd call that, like this front fender basically. And then it also screwed to the rear, like start of the rear fender. So yeah, so now I got the front, you know, call it like the cowling, right, out. You know, taking off this whole front clip piece right here is fairly easy. There's a pile of videos out there on how to do that. So if you guys don't know how to do that yet, I would say, you know, go find one of those videos, but it's fairly easy. It should only take 5 minutes. Now, for getting these, I don't know what we'll call them kick panels, inner fender liners, something like that. Looks like I'm, you know, doing this as I go here. So
rivet there, there's one down there. Then right in here by the front shock, we have one right there. Basically, see the sway bar bolt right here, right? It's just above that. These rivets right here were drilled out previously. So once we get those out, we should be good to go for there. Now there is one more underneath. So why don't you come down here? Let's check this one out. So, all right, so while we're down here, we're looking towards the front of the car, sitting under the passenger side, looking out front. That's forward. So, rivet here that has to be drilled out. That has to come out though for the skid plate anyway. Same thing with a rivet there, and another rivet there. Now, once the skid plate is off, if you look up there, right, the tip of my finger is another rivet. Now, so far what I've been using to drill out all these rivets is I've just been using my DeWalt 20 volt drill. That one, there's no way you're gonna get like a regular drill in there to do that one without having to take out, this floorboard. And in order to get that floorboard out, you have to take out a whole bunch more crap, and I'm trying really hard to not do that. So you guys will probably find out in the next 20 minutes or so if I have to take that out. I will probably find out in a day or two. But I'm gonna try to get to that one with a stubby drill bit and a 90-degree drill. I think I can do it. Yeah, otherwise we're gonna find out. And then for a plan of how to get it all back together, I would say stay tuned. Because again, you guys will find out, and I am purely just going like crazy and hoping to God this works out. Because, not gonna lie, I feel super overwhelmed with all this. Especially I feel like I should just be buying a race car, but the whole idea, the whole idea behind this thing, Can-Am, that is I want to try to wear it out. And that involves putting a lot of miles on it and doing a whole crap ton of different things with it, which has been super fun. But the downside to that is it's also a lot of work with maintenance. I don't know if you can call this maintenance, but I'll call it preventative maintenance. At least that's what I'm selling it to my better half as. It's no different than an oil change, right? Okay, success. 90-degree drill for the win, and a 7/32 drill bit. It was indeed just the 3 rivets along there. If you still have those 2, you have to do that one and those as well. The one right here, and then the one underneath that I showed you. And then I was not able to get this thing out yet. I had to go back under there and use a punch just to push the rivet back into, because you drill the head off, right? To push the rivet, the rest of it, back into the frame to free this up. And there we go. So now we just got to do the exact same thing on the other side. So the other side, while I was waiting for the air compressor to come up, already drilled out those 3. And then also there's one right in here. It's hard for you guys to see, it's right here at the tip of my finger. See like that little silver speck. Basically that is what's holding the front diff vent line on. And then apparently inside there is one more also that I just saw right there next to the brake pedal, and I think that's it. I think we will find out. Let me drill that out and we'll be right back. Oh, there's one other thing real quick. Just make a note that this is your front diff vent line, right? Clips on right there, zip ties, zip tied right here, and then it tucks over. Well, apparently the zip ties right to there, but it tucks over and it goes down into this right underneath. I guess it'd be like the base of the A-pillar, goes down into that frame rail. So next thing is
Because I'm not sure. I guess at some point I need to see how much more of this I actually need to take apart so I can do all the gusseting that I think is reasonable. So yeah, maybe I guess maybe I'll stop there and I'll start doing that. See what all I want to do. So hopefully for somebody out there though, they find this helpful, you know, who's kind of in the same boat as me, who's not going to start off with a bare chassis, you know, but also doesn't want to strip this thing down entirely.